Hey everybody, welcome into the New England Ski Journal Basecamp podcast. I'm Mike Speech, your host, with my co-host,
Keith Pearson.
How you doing, Keith?
Pretty good of yourself. We're getting closer.
We're getting close to Thanksgiving. It's unbelievable.
That's really like if you've already skied, you're a diehard. Hat tip to you for getting. But Thanksgiving's really the start of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The ski industry used to really get fired off, excitement and stuff at Labor Day, then it went to Columbus Day. Veterans Day is the retail end of it that really gets fired off, and Thanksgiving is the ski end. Have you ever skied on Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, no. The day before, yes. But I've never been up. Let's put it this way. I've covered high school football for how many years? I'm a little busy on Thanksgiving. I don't even have turkey on Thanksgiving.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
You're one of... football. It's about ski season. What's this football stuff?
When you're a sports writer in Massachusetts, Thanksgiving football is kind of a big deal to them.
It is. So Thanksgiving, I've skied once on Thanksgiving because normally it's family time, but I had a shot with a friend a long, long time ago. We went up to Stratton, and believe it or not, they had so much terrain open, and it was so awesome with nobody there. And he and I just arced turns. You know, when I say how long ago, it was maybe 1990, maybe.
Way back.
Yeah, well, oh my goodness,
that is way back.
I just dated myself, didn't I?
Way back.
But I can tell you that I skied Stratton on Thanksgiving. I came back and skied it on Christmas. At Christmas, it was almost full open. I don't remember days like that.
Yeah, it's so many seasons now. We're so slow to get going.
They're slow to get going, but Thanksgiving, Christmas is coming. People are planning their trips. Anybody that hasn't booked their lodging and trips for Christmas already probably aren't getting in. It's pretty much done, but it's exciting.
It is exciting, and yes, it's one of those. I don't fault people for not booking Christmas trips right away because it's been too hit or miss, particularly the last couple of years. Look at last year. Christmas week was. We almost lost Sunday River.
Guess what? Everything was booked and everybody was canceling.
Right.
Okay. I was talking to the resorts, talking to friends up there, and the cancellations were crazy. But this year ain't gonna happen. We're gonna be good for Christmas.
Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts. But today we're gonna talk a little bit about local feeder areas. What are the feeder areas around Boston that you know of?
Well, first to open in the country, Ski Ward.
Woohoo!
They count.
Yep.
On the North Shore, you have Bradford.
Yep.
Right here across town, Blue Hills. Mm-hmm.
Yawgoo down in beautiful Rhode Island.
Down in Rhode Island, yeah. And then 4 resorts left down in Connecticut. They would all count for those people, whether it be Hartford or the New York City Metro.
100%. So you've got Powder Ridge, you've got Southington, which is a race mecca. You got Mohawk.
Yep.
And then you've got
Southington.
Nope. And then you've got outside in Canton. Oh my goodness, Sundown.
Okay.
Sundown. So yeah, they're all feeder hills, and they all do a great job.
Yeah, they all have a role. What's the one in southern New Hampshire? McIntyre. Manchester.
McIntyre and Pat's Hill. I'd throw those as, Pat's is a pretty sizable, sort of Wachusett level feeder hill. Neshoba Valley. Did you mention Neshoba?
No, I think I said.
Yeah, Neshoba.
But yeah, Neshoba.
But
somewhere where you can go to work a full day and then either bring your gear with you to work or go home and then go out to the mountain and get some turns in.
Yeah, take your kids there for laps, go there for beer league races, whatever.
You a beer league racer?
Used to be. You know what? My problem is being in in a given spot weekly is very difficult for me because I never know where my travels are going to take me. So that's always been the issue. But, you look at these feeder areas and how important they are to the overall of the ski industry. I mean, look at the Midwest, all those small areas in Minnesota and Michigan that have created world-class skiers like a Lindsey Vonn.
What is the Buck Hill vertical? It's like 350, right?
It's like nothing.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, it is a mecca.
It's about the same size as Blue Hill.
Well, you build your passions there.
Right.
That's where the passion comes from. And then you take it to the next level. I mean, Diane Roffey, do you remember that name?
I remember the name.
Okay, she skied out of a little area in central New York called Brantling. Same thing. But when you look, if you go on lost ski areas and look at how many small feeder hills we've lost. Prospect Hill, right in Waltham.
Yep.
Boston Mills,
The
up
one
in Middleton.
Franklin. What is it? Klein.
You can go and look at, when you look at how many skiers used to be here that are gone. It's I don't want to say it's disheartening. It's just sad.
Oh, of course. It's never fun to see a business fail.
Well, a business fail, but also something that grew the overall ski industry. Because
And get left behind.
they got left behind. I mean, it's just interesting. We talked to Brian Fairbank, who grew up in Western New York, which I never knew, but we talked about Bluemont, which was a Western New York and Yorkshire, New York area. It was a feeder hill. I can remember skiing there. It's just, how do we keep these resorts, or I don't want to say resorts, these ski areas, and who takes them over to keep the flame alive? I guess that's the question.
It takes a very dedicated person and someone who's not going to be in it for the quick hit.
Well, yeah, it does. It takes a dedicated person. It takes somebody with it in their blood. And lastly, it takes somebody that cares for more than just a quick profit.
Yeah, and we have that today.
We do. And, Blue Hills was on the verge. The operator that was there didn't re-ante up. And we know it's on state land. We know the DCR owns it, right?
Correct. Yeah. Blue Hills is state forest.
State reservation.
It's a reservation.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a reservation. So, I mean, it's kind of like national park versus national forest kind of thing. But it's protected land. State owns it. And they get to decide who operates the facilities.
Right.
Just like the Crowleys have operated Wachusett for years.
Sure. I mean, a great analogy. And, the biggest problem with Blue Hills is that there haven't been upgrades. Whether it be the lodge, whether it be the parking lot, whether it be whatever. There just have not. And we all see the lights on. We see the snow guns blowing. But they've never, it's tough to put money into some place that you don't own, that you have a lease on, unless you have a true vision of where it's going to go.
And we're going to see what that vision is that Geoff Homer has of Blue Hills.
Well,
and he's hit the ground running.
I can't believe it's only been a couple weeks, and we always say walk before you run. They're not walking. They're running.
They're sprinting.
They're sprinting. You got it. So coming up next, folks, we're going to have Geoff and Molly, who will be here in person. We just don't have this very often, but they're going to be here in person, in studio, and they're going to give us the lowdown on where Blue Hills is heading. So we'll be right back after this. The Button Ski Hanger is a patented ski storage fixture that safely stores alpine skis regardless of length, width, or shape. This means that your fat powder skis can now be stored next to your narrower carving skis, your race skis, and your kid skis. For more information, visit their website, buttonskirack.com. The Button Ski Hanger is also available for purchase at amazon.com. So make your purchase today. The Button Ski Hanger is simply better for your skis. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Basecamp podcast. And now joining us from Boston's own Blue Hills, their beloved ski area, the new operator of Blue Hills, Geoff Homer, and the general manager, Molly Gilleece. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excited to be here today.
It's great to have you guys across town.
Can you believe this, Keith?
It's
This
nice
is
to have
the
guests.
first time that we've had two guests in studio. It's never happened in almost 80 episodes.
We already need a new desk. We need one of those like remote desks that you see at like any NFL game, Monday Night Football game.
We're almost at that level right now, the NFL. I love it.
That's right.
It's all yours.
Geoff, welcome back to the ski industry. You have a long history there. Can you just take us through it and what made you decide to get back in and why Blue Hills?
Yeah, great question. To be completely candid, I was not looking to get back into the industry, but I found out about the Blue Hills RFP, and I started thinking pretty hard about it. And Blue Hills is a unique location in the industry. It's very close to where I live. I have an incredible passion for the sport across 9/11, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's give this a try. So, here I am.
Well,
welcome back.
You came from
Shawnee Peak.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah.
Shawnee Peak. So that's you sold that off to Boyne, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. My family did about 3 years ago now. 4 years maybe. Sorry, no, this is we have to edit this part, but so we sold it in 2021 October. So it's been it's a good run, and they've been a great operator, and it's just
Well, we're glad to have you down here in the Boston area because Blue Hills is really, really special and needed. Molly, you have 11 years there now?
Yep, 11 years.
Wow, what makes Blue Hills so special here in the Boston market?
I think Blue Hills is so special for a lot of reasons. Blue Hills has a lot of historical value in the ski industry. So that is a big part of Blue Hills. The accessibility at Blue Hills, having such an awesome place to learn skiing so close to an urban area. We're actually the closest ski area to any major city in the US, which is a Blue Hills fun fact. But it's just such a special place. Being able to see so many people try the sport for the first time and then convert them into lifelong skiers and riders is such a great opportunity there.
What is the vision of Blue Hills? Like, what are you going to be able to do with it over the next couple of years that you know?
Yeah, I think so. My vision is, our vision as a team is to make Blue Hills the best that it can be with what we have. And we're very fortunate that the location of Blue Hills is just fantastic to introduce literally millions of people to the sport. And we're fortunate to have a great partner in DCR, who's the former owner of the ski area. But you asked me what the vision is, and we've got quite a bit going on right now. We are completely reimagining and reviving the experience over there. All of the facilities have been upgraded, cosmetically, structurally, and we've doubled our snowmaking capacity. We are putting in all new energy efficient snow guns, and we have a completely brand new Muncher fleet, new tuning equipment, a new point of sale system, new website, new logo, you name it. And trying to pull all this off in 3 months. And I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, we definitely have our hands full, but we're getting there. Getting there.
Nothing like easing into this process.
Right.
Nothing like having the whole summer to plan it out,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, first off, thanks for saving Blue Hills, because we knew Massachusetts was looking for a new operator. And I don't think we can afford to lose any more of these feeder areas, especially in, the second biggest skiing market in the U.S., being Boston.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's wow. I got really excited about it. I think that these little ski areas, these urban areas, have so much potential, not just the community asset, but also a place to really create that lifelong passion for the sport. Skiing, snowboarding, and then these kids and families can go on to wherever, but they began right here at Blue Hills, and it's very exciting.
That's awesome. Molly, you've been through, we know there've been some good and bad years.
Definitely.
To both extremes. What excites you most about Blue Hills, and what do you believe Blue Hills' role is in the industry as a whole?
I think the most exciting part of Blue Hills, like we touched on, is kind of the opportunity to introduce so many people to the sport. It's so cool having worked at Blue Hills for so long, watching people, start out there our youngest kids programs. They're 4 years old, and they stay and they go into our junior program at 7 years old, and then they finish junior program and they become instructors at Blue Hills, and they teach the next group of kids to ski, and then they come back with their kids after they get married and teach them how to ski there, and then grandparents bring their kids there. It's just such a cool spot, and I really think that is so needed in the industry and keeping people in that community together, and everyone will come back to Blue Hills and be like, I remembered how to ski here, and come back and visit, which I think is such a fun thing there. But definitely looking towards the future, I think that continuing to build on that and continuing to reach our area and trying to get as many people as possible skiing and introducing so many new people to the sport, I think is really important.
Jeff, just considering where Blue Hills is, it's close to the city. When you were at Shawnee Peak, it's very similar. It's obviously further, but Bridgeton is very much the same way, that feeder hill to the bigger resorts in Maine. How do you take what you learned at your time at Shawnee and bring it here?
Good question. I think that I don't know that we would have really considered Shawnee to be a feeding area. I think it was a little more than that. It has something for everybody: expert skiing, family, newcomer, nice skiing, racing. And Blue Hills, what's exciting to me is it's almost the same kind of ski area, just on a smaller scale. We have nice skiing, we have group programming, we have racing, we have learn to ski programming. There's a different demographic that come down a Tuesday, then come down a Saturday. And I think just having that knowledge and understanding of the previous operation is really going to allow for Blue Hills to have the best potential going forward.
Well, you mentioned racing. I look at Blue Hills as the perfect gate setup. It really is the right pitch. Everything about it. Lindsey Vaughn could have come out of Blue Hills.
I can speak from experience, having raced there in high school, and I think, with no disrespect to the other Boston area ski mountain, but Blue Hills truly has the best terrain for high school ski racing in the greater Boston market. And that's really exciting. I'm a ski racer, and I can't wait to get out there and pound some geese this winter.
We call that sticking wickets.
Yeah.
In the old days.
Yeah.
Molly, can you just describe what the youth programs that you do have, and like any school programs that you have? And obviously, it is a big race hill.
Yes.
And how many schools are racing at Blue Hills on a given week?
Yeah, definitely. So our youngest kids program, we start for our multi-week program with the 4 to 6-year-olds. We call that our Explorers program. And then we have our 7 to 15-year-olds. That's our junior program. Those are both 5-week lesson programs with like a bonus 6 week of skiing at the end. We also are expanding this year to include high schools who are doing an older age bracket of that same style program called Trailblazers to try and get more of the kids that may not have tried skiing yet into it a little bit later, which I think is awesome. We also do, privates groups for the younger kids, but as far as racing, we have Mass Bay Ski League East, we have Ski East Racing League, we have Prospect Hill, our youth racing group is there as well as some of the independent school leagues come and practice. So we really have a lot of outreach, and we also have our own alpine racing programs where we invite people that may ski up north on the weekends to come and do different training sessions in the afternoons and ski with us there too. So we cover a lot of ground. We're very, very busy during the week and getting all sorts of people in. We have lots of different town recreation programs, pretty much everyone east of 95 and south of Boston, we try and grab and have them come to Blue Hills. And so we're always building those programs as well and continuing the reach there. But yeah, definitely service is such a huge part of the greater Boston community.
Well, with that being said, have you done an adult race league? Do you expect to do one? Or is it too busy with the high schools with the amount of space you have?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we've been thinking about. I think moving towards the future, it's something that we're considering and seeing if we can fit in. There's definitely a demand for it. I think it's just figuring out what days and times will work best for both the people that are looking for that style of program and the room that we have at the Hill.
Well, Geoff, for you, Ross up at McIntyre up in Manchester, who Ross went from a little 200 vertical foot hill that his race program has grown exponentially for adults, even though he does have other, the Pat's Peak, the crotchets around him. So I think there's a huge demand there. And as an older guy, I'll come up and race.
Yeah, the idea of getting out of work and go rip the gates.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's just, we have to really understand what we can offer. And for me personally, to get an understanding the first season, what works, what doesn't work, what we can improve, and that's part of it. And, I love ski racing, and there's a big part of it. And it's just really going to be a matter of, can we get the resources and deliver the resources that the athletes need?
No, I heard Governor Healy is going to give you a few $1 million to help build it out.
Cheers.
Geoff, with climate change, we know it's an issue. We know you've been around this industry a long time. You've seen it in Maine. We see it in Connecticut, Pennsylvania. We haven't had a lot of snow over the last 2 years in the Boston area. Have you looked at what Ward Hill is doing, what Powder Ridge in Connecticut is doing? Is anything like that possible at Blue Hills, or do you see it?
No, I can't. I know what they're doing, but I don't have enough information on the product to give a truly educated answer. I think in our case, the way we can mitigate or offset the climate impact is by having the most efficient equipment we can and having the most access to water. And I think this year we've basically doubled our water capacity, and by having the most efficient equipment we can really take advantage of those cold temperatures. And I think we're fortunate at Blue Hills compared to other bigger ski areas that the amount of area we have to cover is not that big. So we just need a little help from Mother Nature a couple of days a week and we'll be in great shape. And I think that, the new snowmaking technology is tough because it's not a true apples-to-apples comparison where they may have unlimited access to water. Or, the energy costs might be lower, so I think that comes into play.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense.
Just how much how much efficiency, you said doubled, but gun-wise, any changes there? Like, are there new guns? Or new piping? What kind of snowmaking upgrades have you made in the last couple weeks that you guys have had?
Yeah, we're talking weeks, not months or
I was gonna
years
say,
here.
it's about 6 weeks, right?
To touch on the water supply, so Blue Hills uses potable water, which is different than many of our other industry friends. So we are in the town of Milton right now. We pull from the town of Milton from water. They're a great resource for us. That water tower you see when you're hiking up Blue Hills is actually what is feeding the ski area and the town. So we have that. And this year, we've also reconnected with the town of Canton. So we'll be partnering with both towns to get more water to the ski area. And that's going to be a huge difference for us just because the town of Milton can only do so much to get us water. So this gives us an extra opportunity to kind of continue those hours of snowmaking and be able to really take advantage when the weather is in our favor. So that will be a big improvement this year. And then in terms of snow guns, we're getting pretty much all new snow guns. So we're going to have a completely new fleet at Blue Hills. So the efficiency compared to what we were using before will be very, very different. So I think we'll see a better product this year for sure.
Wow.
Well, Keith and I spoke about it maybe the last podcast or whatever, concerning how New England doesn't have a lot of new lifts going in this year, but they have a lot of new snow guns. Everybody's feeling the same thing you are, that efficiency means everything if you're gonna produce a good product.
Yeah, I think the other thing to that is, I think a lot of ski areas were on, first or second generation snow gun technology, and the product and the efficiency has improved tremendously over the past, 3, 4, 5 years, and the upgrade, they really do make a big impact, especially given the shorter time frame cycle that we have to make snow. So,
yeah, I can see that. Molly, at one point, I think you were, by Sam Magazine, named the youngest GM in the country.
Yep, that was my first year. Yep, I believe that was the case.
Oh, yeah.
Trial by fire.
Yes.
Try. So I'm going to give you something here. When I was my senior year of college, I ran Ski Denton in Pennsylvania as their first general manager. So I get the feel here. We have a lot in common.
Yes, definitely.
Okay?
Definitely.
Trial by fire going, my goodness, I'm 25 years old and I've got to make choices and decisions.
Yep, it was definitely a learning experience. I'm really lucky to have really good mentors in the industry. My predecessor, Vero Piacentini, he's been a huge help to me and was such a great help when he left Blue Hills, keeping in contact and letting me run things by him. And, and I think that having those mentors in the industry, it's such a tight-knit group of people, and knowing, everyone, whatever question you have, somebody else has been there before, and being able to kind of pick people's brains and then figure out what's going to work best for you, I think has really helped. But definitely a learning curve, and, we've come a long way, but it's definitely been a great experience.
Well, with that statement, what is the most memorable, or give us some of your most memorable experiences and times at Blue Hills?
Yeah, first night of snowmaking for me is always like my favorite night of the year, because it's, at this point you've tested all of the equipment and things are, moving in the right direction. You're heading into the season. We always do we'll grab the guys like Chinese food or something, and we'll all kind of hang out after their first gun run and go out and get all the videos and pictures we need for the day. And just to be able to walk around and actually watch the snow come down and see all of your hard work pay off is kind of I think that's one of my favorite nights. And then the end of the programs, watching how much progress the kids make is so fun, and seeing, them get out there and not even know how to put their equipment on and being able to come down carpet 2 and kind of make some turns is such a rewarding experience, and seeing them make so much progress. I think it really comes from, we have a really, really great group of staff at Blue Hills, and they put kind of everything they have into the hill, and they're all so passionate about it. So it's really great spot to be.
I'll also add, as someone who used to work in Needham and drive south in the middle of the night,
yes,
the first night of lights is also right up there with gun night. Yep,
it's great. Coming down 95, I always say, if you're on the roof of the Legacy Place parking garage, you really get the best view of Blue Hills snow. So it's such a good spot to, go check out and kind of see the progress we're making. But we get calls all of the time from people that are driving down the highway and are like, we saw the guns are on, when are you guys opening? Or, do you have lessons? And we're like, yep, lessons are going, and kind of getting everyone the scoop. But it is so cool that it's such a visible area where you don't always get that. So,
well, Keith, once again, previous podcast, Keith asked me what gets me excited. I said the first snowstorm. gets me excited. He goes, no. When the guns come on is what gets him excited.
Definitely.
And
Because the natural snow can happen at any time. You're not firing up the guns until like you're testing them, but then you're not doing it again until you know it's go time.
Yep. And once they're on, you have maybe a couple of days and you're open. So it's like a really like once you go, it's ready to get started. So
ready to fire off. Well, you guys also have, I know through the years, a very loyal staff and following. How have you created, Molly, I'm going to ask you this since you've been there for 11 years. How has that been created to hold that clientele and the staff?
Yeah, I think on the staffing side, we have such a loyal group and a group that really cares so much about the ski area. A lot of them have been there through different management teams, different ownerships, and they all stay, and they are, I always joke, like they're loyal to the hill. Like it doesn't matter. They just want to make sure that the hill is there and that it's going to keep going. And they're such a strong community amongst themselves. They all, have met their significant others there, have had kids there. Their kids are in programs now. And so it kind of builds itself in that. But I think creating an environment for them where, we have really flexible scheduling. They can still enjoy their family time, but also build their Blue Hills family. We work really, really hard. We all do a lot of different things. But we have a lot of fun while we do it. So I think that helps a lot and kind of keeps that crew tight.
That's cool.
Just how important is Blue Hills in the whole pyramid of skiing? The idea of this is where you learn, and then we're going to send you we're eventually going to have you ready for the bigger resorts. Are you able to partner with anybody to say, all right, this is that next group of mountains? Like Shawnee Peak would be in great spot for like that second generation of mountains, Cranmore, Sunapee, that range,
Tenny,
yeah. As opposed to, all right, we're gonna learn at Killington. Well, you're learning by spending a ton of money when you go straight to the big resorts. How about starting here and building something with a set of smaller mountains?
I think that these smaller urban feeder areas are, critically important to the industry for a lot of reasons. I think, number one, you develop the passion for the sport, but it makes it accessible for families that they can come from home, they can be in their own home for breakfast and dinner, and then they decide that, hey, we want to try skiing, let's make a weekend trip to somewhere in New Hampshire from that. But the foundation, the love of the sport comes from a place like Blue Hills, and you get to slide around, and then you go to a bigger place and it's a bigger ski trail and a bigger view, a longer lift, and you get more and more excited, but you kind of don't forget where you came from. In terms of partnerships with other places, it's hard now than it was 15 years ago because of Epic and Icon and their firewalls that they put up. But we do have a very great partnership with Bretton Woods, where for all of our group programs, at the conclusion of the program, they get a day of free skiing at Bretton Woods. And we're also working with another pretty big ski area that I can't name right now, but hopefully in the next week or two we can have an announcement about that. And it's the same concept. You develop the foundation at Blue Hills, and then you experience something different, and you kind of keep the cycle going. So.
That's awesome.
Well, I know I've spoken to a lot of smaller operators, and this is a question I've asked all of them because I want to keep independence alive, whether it be the Gunstocks of the world or the Bolton Valleys of the world. And having those relationships to move people from Blue Hills, from Bradford, from Neshoba to the next level where the same culture is there is so crucial to me, rather than go to a corporate culture immediately, which I applaud that you're working well with Bretton Woods, and I can't wait to hear the new one. I can't believe you don't want to give it to us here on the nationally acclaimed
exclusive
podcast.
I would love to, but we are not quite there yet.
Gotta get to the finish line first.
Well, Molly, YES in Boston, Youth Enrichment Services, is very important to me.
Yep.
I've been involved with them since I was at Ski Market in my early days. How do you work with YES in bringing the, we'll say, kids that would not have the opportunity to ski without you?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different programs we do with Yes. Last year we did a multi-week style program like some of our other programming with Tech Boston through them. And so that was a great program. They came up Wednesdays. We also put in something last year called First Fridays. And so it was available to Yes and Yes family members to come up and ski together. And we thought that that was a cool way where it wasn't just the kids in the lessons, like their parents could come up and try, or their brothers and sisters that might not have gotten into the program could come up and try. So that's another thing that we've done with Yes. We also extended our instructor training course to the Yes instructors and allowed them to attend for free. So they were getting some more PSIA structure and some more skills from our crew. We have such a great training team at Blue Hills, and so it was really good to be able to share those resources with them so that they can go and teach more of the Yes kids throughout New England at all of their different partner resorts.
When this is obviously the start of at least a 5-year partnership with the DCR, what plans do you have going forward beyond this year?
Talking in the year.
You just want to get through the start of this year first.
Well, it's all about La Nina right now, giving us the goods.
I think I would love for this to be a long-term partnership and thing with the DCR, and in terms of what's next, I think the best thing that we can do right now is utilize the resources and investment that we've made this fall, see how they work, get through a rundown, and have a conversation that's bring about what we can do in the future. And, it's a multi-year thing, so.
Well, I've got an idea for you guys because I'm excited for Blue Hills right now. Really excited because we need this investment. We need these changes. We need the efficiency of snowmaking, as you stated. I think, Keith, since they're so close here, we'll get David, our producer. What do you think, David?
Yeah, sure. Consider it done, Mike.
Okay, fair enough. He's easy. Let's do a live podcast from Blue Hills one night when everything's up and running, and get your customers telling us about Blue Hills. What do you think about that?
That sounds awesome. Yeah, let's definitely do it. Yeah.
I would love that. And we're telling Mother Nature to cooperate too, and it'll be nice and snowy and be a beautiful night.
Yeah, it'll be a beautiful night. What do you think, Keith?
That sounds like a perfect idea. I'll have my gear ready.
All right. Leave those wide
for a few
skis.
minutes.
We're going to be skiing gates, so leave the wide skis at home, please.
That's right.
But anything else from you two that you want the listening public to know about Blue Hills?
Yeah, I think anyone listening, if you grew up skiing at Blue Hills, maybe come back and pay us a visit this winter. We're putting in a lot of work to get things up and running and kind of revitalizing the area. I think now would be a great time for you to come take a peek at the place where you learn to ski and get back there, and maybe bring your kids or your friends and teach them how to ski too. But definitely come check us out this winter. Even if you spend your weekend skiing somewhere else, we have night skiing. Come pop by after work, come by for a couple of runs, but definitely check us out this year.
I'm in because I have skied about 140 ski areas in North America, and I want to fall on my sword here. I've never skied Blue Hills, and I've been here for a long time. So that's a given. I need 141.
Yep. This is the year.
This is the year, Geoff. I'm coming to make some turns with you. We're going to stick some wickets.
Perfect. I like that. No, the only other thing I want to add to this is, you asked me about the importance of Blue Hills to the industry, and I think that I'm pretty excited about the fact that all of our industry friends and partners are just so pumped that this is happening, and they've been great to work with, and having these industry relationships has been hugely beneficial in getting us to where we need to be right now, and running great about, and everybody I talk to is so pumped, and people really want to come out and experience the, I guess, revived Blue Hills. So the pressure's on us to kind of deliver, but it's really special, and I'm looking forward to it.
Pressure's fun.
Yeah, you know what? We want to thank you for doing it, Geoff. First off, I know you didn't want to get back in, but we need you back in. Molly, for 11 years, let's make it 15.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
Let's not stop it. But Geoff and Molly, we want to thank you for joining us in studio. This doesn't happen very often, but thank you for joining us. We are excited for Blue Hills. We're going to be there to ski. We'll work with Siemens Media to see if we can get an on-site podcast midwinter to say it's here, it's great, and it's going to be here for the long haul.
There you go. I'm in.
Fantastic. Thanks an awful lot. Have a great fall. Pray for snow. Pray for cold weather.
Yeah.
And let's make it a Christmas to remember.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.
If you want to be inspired and informed on everything about the New England ski and outdoor scene, then you need to check out skijournal.com. Skijournal.com delivers daily content on breaking industry news, tips, gear, dining, travel, entertainment, as well as all archived episodes of the Emmy-nominated New England Ski Journal TV show and the Basecamp podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to New England Ski Journal, the longest-running regional ski magazine in the country. New England Ski Journal's award-winning writers and photographers bring all 4 seasons to your door with best-in-class coverage on skiing and the outdoors. Log on to skijournal.com and click on the subscribe button to get New England Ski Journal mailed to you today. New England Ski Journal is a Siemens Media publication. Siemens Media. Inspiring. Informative. Insightful.
Well, Keith, you're a south of Boston, South Shore guy.
Yep.
How important are Blue Hills to you? Because that's the demographics along with the city.
So I used to work in Needham, used to drive home in the middle of the night, coming down 128. And I've only skied Blue Hills a handful of times, but at the same time, it builds the excitement level, seeing the lights on, seeing the snow guns, and just knowing that, it's there and it's available. And to be able to know that it's in safe hands with someone who has experience running a ski area is a positive thing and a much needed thing to build a skier base, and create future skiers out of people who might not get into the sport otherwise if they didn't have a place in their backyard.
I agree 100%. I mean, look, I keep saying this, and I can't reiterate it enough. We cannot afford to lose more of these ski areas. First off, it's good for the youth of the region because being outside, team sports are team sports, but they need to have that feeling that they can be let go and experience what winter is all about in New England. And there's no better way than skiing.
Absolutely. And there's that rush of, all right, go ahead, go up the lift by yourself. I don't need to be here. I don't have to go up the lift every time. Go do it on your own, and I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Well, mom and dad, for that matter, can drop the kids off there, let them go ski for 2 or 3 hours. They can go down to Legacy Place if they don't want to go skiing, hang out, shop. But the kids are going to be safe. They're going to be safe. And
even better if you have your whole neighborhood there with you.
Well, exactly. If the whole neighborhood's your friends.
Right.
I mean, that's part of the aura of a Neshoba, of a Bradford, of a Blue Hills, is that you can be there with your friends, and hang out. But the other thing that really got me, I applaud Geoff's commitment to making this happen. Molly's been there for 11 years. 11 years, and I got news for you. Operating a ski area is not for the faint of heart. It is not. Okay? I've been there. It's tough. And the bottom line is Molly's commitment. You saw her enthusiasm. You saw a general manager that says one of the most memorable moments is going out and seeing somebody take their first run. That is incredible.
Right. And those first runs aren't done from the top of 4,000-foot peaks.
No. Guess what? Geoff and Molly are changing lives. Their staff are changing lives because they are instilling in families and kids the passion of skiing. And I can tell you point blank, I applaud them for it. I have not skied there, but this winter, I don't care. I will be there.
Hopefully we'll be here. Well, maybe we'll let Dave in, but
Dave's going skiing for the first time.
We're going to push him down.
I'm going to watch him ride the magic carpet.
There you go.
I've agreed to nothing contractually. I just want that on the record.
Well, folks, we want to applaud Blue Hills, Geoff and Molly, for all they're doing over there. Please support. Go up for an evening. It's not expensive. Go up, make some turns, and if you want, I'll join you. But that will be it for this episode of the Basecamp. From beautiful Milton, Massachusetts, the home of Blue Hills. Thank you, Country Ski and Sport, for your sponsorship, and we will see you next time on the Basecamp.
New England Ski Journal's Basecamp is a Siemens Media podcast. Siemens Media. Inspiring, informative, insightful.